Hey, it's Kevin, back with the Road Warrior. It feels good to be out today, and it's kind of funny. I didn't realize this. I do the Road Warrior in bulks and in batches. Sometimes 2 or 3, sometimes a couple, sometimes 5 or 6. Depends on what topics I've got going on. It depends on the time of the year. It depends on looking ahead to the weather. Usually in the winter months, I tend to batch them a little bit more than what I'm doing right now, just because, man, I've been struggling for topics. Again, when you've done almost 3,600 daily podcasts, and you've done, what are we up to, 430 video blogs, it's hard not to repeat yourself. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But one thing I've been focusing on, because it is January, is my taxes. My business taxes, my personal taxes, because it's going to be a weird year. I'm trying to gather everything, and I don't know how to do some things this year because I've taken out some loans, and I've had to move some money around, and who knows what it's going to be like. But the one thing I have to do every year is I have to track my mileage. And as I've said before, I love driving. Hence kind of how the Road Warrior started. It was just kind of cathartic for me to sit here and talk to you while I'm driving down the road because I love driving. But when I tracked my mileage in 2020, thanks to COVID, what did I find out? Much like everybody else found out. They didn't drive as much. My wife and her car, normally 15, 20,000 miles a year, just daily commuting kind of thing, didn't even put on 8,000 miles on her car because she doesn't commute to and from work anymore. Because she's now working from home, and other than going to the grocery store, other than a couple of errands she might run, she's not in the car these days. She's not driving as much, so she hasn't put the miles on her car. Okay, fine. Me, though, because I tend to do most of the driving, I knew it would be down because we weren't making as many trips to Indiana, which is a 1,000-mile round trip. But come to find out, the least miles I've ever put on my main primary vehicle, going back now 25, 30 years. I've been tracking my mileage that long. Now again, I have multiple cars. I have my Mini Cooper, which, here's the funny part. Now the Mini Cooper, I put on 72 miles on the Mini Cooper last year. I need to get some repairs done. In fact, the headliner is kind of falling down, and I need to get some work done on it, so I've just kind of parked it because I don't have the extra money to play with it. But in just working on it a little bit last year, taking it to get inspected and things like that, I put on 72 miles. That was up from the year before where I put on like 61 miles. I know it's 11 miles. But, again, I put on under 100 miles on my secondary car, which used to get 5,000 or 6,000 a year in just off years. Because the main car was getting 20, 24. I think in 2019, because of my mother-in-law's passing, I put on like 24,000 miles on my car. That was a big year. The year we finally moved everything and shut down our house in Ohio and moved everything to Tennessee, I put a lot of miles on my car that year. I was close to like 30, 40,000 that year. But I found that in the past year, like many, I'm not driving as much. I'm missing it, but only on the weekends. Does that make any sense? I'm missing the road trips, the road travel, but not missing the daily to and from the mailbox, to and from meetings, to and from Walmart, Target, Best Buy, whatever it is. I'm not missing the constant trips. I'm clustering those more and usually trying to get them done in one day. When I do my Best Buy trip, or I do my Office Max or my Office Depot or my Staples trips, and then my trips to the mailbox and my trips to Walmart and Target, they're all in one day. I try to get as much of those done, and I try to do them on an off day, usually now like a Friday, to stay away from crowds. I find myself trying to avoid all of that because I've spent some time on the road less traveled. And sadly, other than the fact that I'm getting out and about less, I don't necessarily mind it. It's getting old things for the birds. Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us. That's the website, home to all the Road Warrior videos, each and every one of them there. In our brand new, by the way, newly updated website, or at least in the last 2 or 3 months, I updated it. I like the look of it now. I'm okay with it. I'm also on Facebook, also on YouTube. Again, because we're not worried about sponsors or anything like that, because we're not worried about where you watch, you can watch on YouTube this week and Facebook next week, or you can watch on the website every week, or I don't care. It does not matter where you watch. I love the fact that you do come by, whether it's every week or watch them in batches and do. Why you want to spend 20 minutes watching me babble and watch 4 or 5 episodes, I don't know, but I love it when you come by. I love it when you spend a few minutes with me. Anytime you have a comment, a thought, feel free to add it. Let me know you're there. I see the web traffic, but other than that, I'm at your mercy. I appreciate it, though. Have a great week. See you next week, another Road Warrior.